Hey guys, M2 Collector here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure here. We're starting off with the 4 comic figures. Is it 4? Ultron, Crossfire, Egghead, Future Ant-Man. 4 comic figures in this wave, and this one is Ultron, which is essentially a repaint, but we do get a brand new head sculpt on this figure, and this one is pretty good. It is very similar, yes, to the Villains wave Ultron, and I'm not sure which I like more. I think I like the silver first release a little bit more. The second release I feel like doesn't feel as stiff, it feels a little bit softer, not in a bad way, not gummy in any kind of way. And then it's got a lot of marbleization, which I don't usually mind, but on the Ultron figure, I think I don't like it as much. But I definitely like the new head sculpt, I think, a little bit more. So it's kind of like, if only the two can match in silver, then you could really use them on both, So otherwise, you're not really going to be able to unless you kind of painted both to match or however that would work. But both are solid Ultron releases. It just matters, as far as which one you like more. I think the Villains one was probably a much easier to get a hold of. I think at the time it was $22.99, whereas this one is now $24.99. So I'll do a little bit more of a comparison between the two so you guys could check that out. But because it is the comic figure, so we just get the Marvel logo on the front, Marvel logo at the top, which I just said, backwards. We got the artwork of Ultron looking awesome. We got the Kirby crackle there in his mouth, which is painted on there, which is quite nice. The Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure, you can see we are on the third figure in the lineup. This is now the 4th review. It is the Ultron figure, and you can see the accessories and things that he comes with. I did get my set from Entertainment Earth. Everyone keeps asking. Entertainment Earth. I pre-ordered from Entertainment Earth. And then everyone goes to the website and says it doesn't release until July. Though the way it works with online retailers is they get a shipment. Sometimes they get enough to cover all orders. A lot of times they do not. So if they do not, then it's still listed as a pre-order until they can get enough shipments to fulfill everyone's order and then have additionals so you could see it in stock. So as of now, it is still listed as a pre-order because they did not get enough to fulfill all orders. So again, Entertainment Earth is where I got my wave. But I know everyone's still going to keep asking. It's going to be crazy. But anyway, first thing, we got the left arm to the Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure, and this is looking pretty good. I got to say, that arm right there, there's not a whole lot of a notch to kind of keep it in place. I doubt that it's just going to fall out or anything like that, but it looks like it'd be probably easy to remove if that's what you wanted to do. She has a fist on there, and then she also comes with an open hand, so we at least get interchangeable hands and an interchangeable head for Cassie, which is pretty cool. We're going to throw that off to the side so we can take a look at Cassie Lang after we look at all the figures. There's Ultron. Let's get in for a closer look. Okay, here's an up-close look at Ultron, and again, this thing is really nice. This head sculpt is really nice, but look at his chest. Look at that crazy-ass marbleization, and again, that's because due to the metallic nature of the plastic, when they fill the mold, these are the fill lines that you kind of see. So it's there, and look at the leg. It almost looks like that's part of the design. Is not. That's like the marbleization of it, and you can almost feel it. It's kind of weird. I don't like it. Maybe it adds to the look of it, but I'm not a fan. But other than that, it's not actually too bad in terms of the marbleization. Some figures get it really, really bad. Others do not. A little bit there on the foot. Yeah, the feet get it a little bit. But other than that, it's not too bad. The back of the legs kind of get it. A little bit on his ass. There. Oh, a little bit right there on his shoulder, left shoulder blade. But other than that, it's not actually too bad. But again, there in the torso and then on the legs, it's kind of bad. As you can see, it's definitely a lot... Well, I was going to say shinier, but technically they're both kind of shiny. I almost feel like the first release is a little bit shinier. But it's definitely a brighter silver. Because, and I don't know exactly how they pulled this one off. I don't know if it was, just a special kind of paint or if they did use a silverish plastic. I think it had to be like paint on over the figure, which covered the entire figure, which probably wasn't cheap. I don't know how any of that works. But we now get this one, which is silver. Again, I like the feel for it because it feels like it moves around a lot easier and nice. It doesn't feel gummy. It doesn't feel loose. None of that. It just doesn't feel as stiff. And I don't know if I'm really explaining that well. It's, when you have them in hand and you work both of them, it's like, that doesn't move as nicely.
So that's just kind of the difference between the two that I really noticed. And then again, the head sculpt. Let me remove this Kirby crackle there. As you can see the head sculpt. So the previous Ultron figure just kind of left the open mouth, and then the crackle was part of the accessory piece. We get that crackle again, but instead of an orange translucent plastic, we get a red. And then instead of red crackle, we get black crackle that's painted only on the one side. So you see the back is not painted, but I don't think it was painted on this one either. No, and I don't know exactly how they achieve sometimes that dual translucent coloring, but we get the red and black, which matches his mouth, as you can see there. So it's not as open on his mouth, but the Kirby crackle on there is very noticeable and looks good. You can see his eyes recessed back and they're red, whereas the eyes, you know, really are just indented, you know, just a little bit. But I like this new head sculpt. I actually think it's better. But you guys let me know down in the comments below, which head sculpt do you like more? I definitely like the new one more, but I like the silver of the original release more than the silver of this new release. But you know, that's just me. I know everyone's gonna have kind of different opinion, but so you guys let me know in the comments below your thoughts on that. Let me bring the lights in a little bit closer to brighten it up for you guys. But yeah, looks pretty good. A little bit of marbleization. It's not terrible. But you know, he definitely does get a little bit more of a metallic look when they use this kind of metallic plastic type of thing as opposed to just shiny. So it's just kind of a preference thing on which one, you know, you like more. But again, I think this head sculpt wins, but you know, this one's not bad in any way either. So I think you're good either way. If you don't need the Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure and you have a bunch of Ultrons, you probably don't need this one. If you missed out on this Ultron for some reason, here's your chance to get another one. Or if you want to have a bunch of Ultrons, you can, which I do, all different Ultrons, and I will show all those to you guys towards the end of the video. But now let's go ahead and move on into the articulation. Okay, so Ultron's articulation, the head is on a disc hinge, so he can look down that much. He can look up. Let's see. He can look all the way up, which is good. As you can see there, you get a full rotation in that head. Do we get some pivot? Really, no pivot basically at all going on there. The shoulder you can get to go straight on out. You get a full rotation. This shoulder pad does move with the shoulder there. We have an upper bicep swivel in there, double jointed pinless elbow. I'm trying to get this lower forearm one. There we go. You got to do that, and you can get that much bend there. The gauntlet piece of that forearm kind of gets in the way and hits the bicep swivel. So to get proper bend, you got to have to bend that one in first. But anyway, you get that much bend there. Wrist swivel, and all the hands have the standard horizontal hinge. So here's how it goes, because we get 3 extra hands. So you got a holding hand for the right, a holding hand for the left. You have the open hand for the left, and then a pair of fists. Those are all the hands that Ultron comes with. We have a diaphragm cut on him, so Ultron could pivot to his left that much. He could tilt to the right that much, which is pretty good. He can go back a little bit, as you could see there. Coming forward, tiny bit. And then you get a swivel at that diaphragm, and then a waist swivel as well. So it's kind of dual there. Legs go out that far apart. You can't kick forward that far. Does the leg go back ever so slightly? Yes, it does. Upper thigh cut there. Double jointed pinless knee gives you that much bend there. There is a ankle, no, it's like a calf. Just above the ankle, just below the calf, you have it swivel in there. Foot hinges all the way down, a little bit of hinge up. Ankle pivot, no peg holes at the bottom of the feet, but at least there is some sculpted detail on the bottom of those feet. But again, no peg holes on the bottom of Ultron's feet. So there is the Ultron figure, looking pretty good. But now let's go ahead and see all of the Ultron figures that Hasbro has given us so far. And I am technically short one Ultron figure because there is one that came in a box set that was exclusive to the Disney store in the UK. I do have a picture of it because I have the box set. I just haven't opened the box set to be able to show you the figure itself. But let's go ahead and get all the Ultrons lined up. Okay, so we have all the Ultrons. I do want to point out that box set one is essentially the same as these two here, but in a color that's a little similar to this one. So it's a nice metallic silver color, but in this body and head sculpt. So that is the other Ultron, but otherwise these are the ones that have come out. This one was in the Ironmonger Build-A-Figure wave. This was the Marvel Unlimited Annual Subscription Plus exclusive. We have this one, which was in a Target exclusive 3-pack with Hulk and, was it Radioactive Man? No. That was White Vision. This Ultron came in a 3-pack with an Ultimate Captain America and a comic book Carol Danvers Ms. Marvel. And then, of course, the Ursa Major Build-A-Figure Wave Ultron, and now the new from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania Cassie Lang Build-A-Figure Wave. We have all the Ultrons. You guys let me know down in the comments below which one is your favorite Ultron between them all. I'm going with these two as my favorite, with this one edging out only because of the nice silver color, but I feel like this figure, this new one, handles a lot better than this one does. It's weird. It's a balance. So really, I mean, if you had your options, you can't go wrong with either of these two. You'll probably be really happy with this one, but again, I really like this silver. Now, one thing that I forgot to try, and I don't know why, and of course it's going to work, is a head swap between these two. And of course it's going to work because they're on the same body. Why would the head swap not work? Of course it will. But the silvers aren't going to match. Oh, look at that red keyed in part, so they could do the eyes and the mouth. That's kind of interesting. So look at that. That Ultron would look great if it matched, but it doesn't match, so it doesn't quite look right. And then, of course, this doesn't quite look right either. And of course, I forgot, there is the MCU Ultron figure. I wasn't going to bring that one out. It's a lot taller and it'll be out of frame and stuff, but we're going to stick with comic. Yeah, I really like this head sculpt, and if this head sculpt was this nice silver color, that would look awesome, but this looks good too. Either way is really going to work out for you. Okay, and here is the wave so far for the Cassie Lang wave. We have the King the Conqueror, Ant-Man, Wasp, and then to start off the comic book figures, again, 4 comic figures, 3 MCU movie figures, and then Cassie Lang being the 8th figure is MCU, so it's kind of split down the middle. Here we have the Ultron. So you can see Ultron is the tallest of the bunch, but comic figures tend to run a little bit taller. You guys let me know down in the comments below, what do you think of this Ultron figure? What do you think of the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania wave so far? Let me know in the comments below. If you guys like this video, please do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. Hit that join button to become a channel member and be a part of the MCU Collective. And as always, thank you for watching.